Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a huge topic, the fascinating and, let's be honest, sometimes really confusing world of artificial intelligence. We're going to break down what it actually is, how it even learned to think in the first place, and where it's already changing our lives in ways you might not even realize.
All right, let's just jump right in with something I think we've all felt. Have you ever been talking to a friend about, a vacation to Italy, and then just moments later, boom, an ad for a hotel in Rome pops up on your phone? It's so common, right? And it's definitely a little unnerving.
So, the tech companies, they swear up and down they are not listening to your conversations. And you know what? They're probably telling the truth. The reality is actually, well, it's almost more mind-blowing. Their AI algorithms are just so good at understanding your patterns, your friends' patterns, your search history, the whole shebang, that they can predict what you're gonna talk about before you even say a word.
And that spooky little coincidence? That's our daily intro to the power of AI. See, it's not some kind of digital wizardry or magic. It's just math. Really, really powerful math that's incredible at recognizing and predicting patterns. So good, in fact, that it often feels, well, supernatural.
So this incredible predictive power really forces us to ask a big fundamental question. What do we even mean when we say a machine is intelligent? I mean, think about it. A calculator is lightning fast, but you wouldn't call it smart, right? We're talking about something way, way deeper here. It's like we're trying to build a cognitive soul inside a piece of silicon. Well, the classic benchmark for this goes way back to the father of computer science himself, Alan Turing. He came up with this idea called the Turing test, and it's just so elegantly simple. Basically, if a machine can have a conversation with you and you honestly can't tell if you're talking to a machine or another person, then, for all intents and purposes, it's intelligent. It passed the test.
But here's the thing. Today, the goals for AI have just blown past simply passing a conversation test. I mean, now we're asking it to do things that require a really deep, almost intuitive human-like understanding of the world. Things like being able to tell a cat from a dog in a photo, instantly translating languages, or, get this, even creating original art and music from scratch.
So, how on earth did we get here? Well, this incredible technology definitely didn't just pop up overnight. Oh no. Its journey has been a total roller coaster, just packed with these huge highs of optimism, these crushing lows of disappointment, and then these breakthrough moments that changed everything.
I mean, just look at the timeline here. It's fascinating. You go back to 1956, and these pioneers, they were so optimistic, they thought they'd basically solve AI in one summer. Can you imagine? Well, that didn't happen. Instead, what we got was this decades-long AI winter, where all the progress just stalled. The funding dried up. It wasn't until 1997, really, that things turned around. That's when IBM's Deep Blue computer beat the world chess champion, Garry Kasparov. And that was a huge moment. It proved for the first time that a machine can actually beat human genius at a really complex task.
So, what happened in the 2010s? Why the sudden big bang? Well, it really came down to two key ingredients finally coming together, like the perfect storm. First, big data. We suddenly had this massive, massive ocean of information, the new oil, as they say, to fuel these AI systems. And second, we finally had the sheer computing power. The processors got fast enough and cheap enough to actually churn through all that data. That was the game changer.
Okay, but how does a hunk of silicon and circuits actually learn anything? I mean, it's not like it's reading a textbook, right? The method is, believe it or not, surprisingly simple in concept, but just unbelievably powerful in practice. The best way to think about it is like a mix between playing Super Mario and learning not to touch a hot stove.
So just picture an AI playing Super Mario for the very first time. It has zero instructions, it doesn't know what a hole is, it doesn't know what a coin is, it just tries something. It runs right. Oops, falls into a hole. That's a penalty, a little bit of digital pain. So it tries something else. It jumps. Hey, that worked. It cleared the hole. That's a reward, a little +1. Now, imagine it repeating that cycle millions of times a second. That's how it learns.
And this super simple cycle, that's the core language of what's known as reinforcement learning. The AI player, that's the agent. The video game level, that's the environment. All its moves, like running and jumping, are its actions. And of course, the points or penalties are the reward. It's exactly like how a little kid learns not to touch a hot stove. The big difference? An AI can burn its digital hand 1,000,000 times a minute to learn that lesson absolutely, perfectly, and forever.
So all this learning basically builds into two main strategies. First, you've got the model-based approach. Think of this as the planner. It wants to create a map of its world first, and then it plans the best path. It's just like you using Google Maps before you start driving. Then you've got the model-free approach. This is the daredevil. It doesn't bother with a map. It just figures things out through pure, raw trial and error. This is a lot like how a self-driving car learns the road, by running millions and millions of simulations.
Now, you might be thinking AI is all about chatbots, writing your emails or creating some wild images. And sure, that's part of it. But its most profound impact, the real heavy lifting, is happening right now, silently, in the background. It's really become the invisible infrastructure of our modern lives.
And this is where it gets really real. In healthcare, AI is literally saving lives. It scans thousands of x-rays and can spot tiny little cancer anomalies that even a really good but tired human doctor might miss. Or in finance, you know that text you get when your card is frozen for a weird charge? That's an AI algorithm instantly detecting fraud and protecting your money while you're asleep. Even in farming, AI-powered drones water only the specific plants that need it, saving water and helping to feed the world. It really is this silent partner making our lives safer and way more efficient.
When you look at the sheer scale and the incredible speed of this change, you start to understand why so many experts see AI as something way more profound than just the latest cool gadget. The thinking goes like this. For pretty much all of human history, we've built tools, right? Things like hammers or levers. But for the first time, we're not just building tools anymore, we're building minds.
And believe me, the money is following that vision. Just look at this number, $50 billion. That's how much was invested in AI just in the United States in the single year of 2022. That tells you everything. This is not some passing trend. This is a massive, global bet on a total, fundamental shift in our technological future.
This idea gets summed up perfectly in this powerful quote from the scientist Edward Fredkin. He said, "Artificial intelligence is the next step in evolution." Just let that sink in for a second. What he's suggesting is that our work in AI isn't just, another invention like the telephone. It's a pivotal moment in history, something that could be on the same level as, major evolutionary leaps.
So yeah, the genie is well and truly out of the bottle. There's no putting it back. We've gone from these kind of naive summer projects all the way to systems that can beat the world's greatest minds and help save our lives. The question we have to ask ourselves isn't, can machines think anymore? We're past that. The real question, the one that matters now, is this: what are we going to do with them now that they can't?
Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. And while you're at it, please remember to like the video.